Critical questions to ask your realtor when you're buying your home, especially if you're buying your first time home. Buying a home is one of the biggest assets you probably end up buying. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right neighborhood, the right location, the right price, and you want to buy it with the least hassles. So when you pick an agent, you have to ask them a few questions, and those are the questions I'm going to talk about right now. By the way, I'm Mike Patel with First Team Real Estate in Anaheim Hills, and if you're coming on my channel the first time or if you're coming again, I would really appreciate if you help me out by your support by subscribing to my channel, because I give weekly updates on tips, real estate market updates, and pointers about buying, selling, and investing. So what is the question number one you can ask your realtor when you want to buy your home? So question one, and it's in no specific order. Question one is, how familiar are you with the neighborhoods in this area? Is the agent familiar with the prices, the trends, how the agents operate? Agents have a way of operating, so when you write an offer, how are they going to react? So are you familiar with the trends in that local neighborhood? Very important that you pick an agent that knows the neighborhood, knows the trend in the area, the pricing, the schools, the crime rate, and all those things. Even though you can get all this information online, they may have some more information that you don't know. So please ask that question, and of course it's in any order. Question number two, in this competitive market, how will you find, or do you have access to off-market properties? So what are off-market properties? In today's world, with the shortage of inventory and COVID-related issues where sellers don't want to put their homes on the market, off-market are properties that are not on the market, but they would like to sell it. A lot of the agents, like myself, we have a big database of properties that may be for sale. We have networks, we have database of sellers that we have talked in the past, where hey, they will say, bring me a buyer and I will sell it, and that does happen. The other database they can use is there's a lot of homes, according to NAR, 30 to 40% of all the homes that come on the market don't sell. So a lot of the agents know some of these sellers that want to sell, they tried to sell previously but could not sell. So those are some of the off-market properties. For sale by owners, that's an off-market property where you may not know about it, but the agent may know about it. So make sure that your sellers have a database where they can go get off-market properties in this market. Question number three, how will you stand out, or how will you make my offer stand out in this competitive market? Right now, as you know, there's multiple offers out there. So what is the agent going to do to make sure that your offer has a great chance of being accepted? Some of the things they can do is to make sure that they call the agent of what they want as an agent, what they require when you send the offer. The other thing they can do is they can ask the listing agent to find out what the seller is looking for. Terms, condition, time of length, approval letters, proof of funds, all those. So the seller has to contact the agent, gets information about the seller, make sure when they write the offer they fill out all the required forms, and the timing issue. So that's very critical, because if I'm an agent, listing agent, and I have 5 offers and there's 2 offers that are not completely written out, not completely filled out, documents are missing, there's a good chance I'm not going to have time to call them or think, oh, you know what, that agent's not that great, I'm going to pass him on and go to the current 3 offers. So being competitive with offers and making your offer stand out is very critical, because you may have the best offer, but if it's not presented well to the listing agent and to the seller, you have a chance of losing that offer. So before I go to the next point or next question, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel again, and also in the description below I have a link, and I'm giving away a free booklet which has 15 critical questions you can ask your realtor when buying a house. So if you'd like a free copy, fill out the form below or just click on the link below and I'll send you the booklet as soon as I can. So if you'd like to do that, feel free to do so. Question number 4. This is one of the most critical questions that you want to ask your realtor. It has to do with your relationship, not in the relationship, but in the method of how they communicate. So ask your realtor or potential realtor, hey, how are we going to communicate? Because communication is very critical. We all go to work, we have different times, and some people like to be called, some people like to be texted, some people like to be Instagram message or Facebook message. So find out how your agent likes to communicate or how you can interact, because when an offer comes in, you need to get on it right away, be available right away. Your agent has to be available to answer your questions right away or send you information right away. I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, every time I called my daughter, she would not answer the phone and immediately text me back, say, "What's up, Dad?" So now, whenever I want something from my daughter, I always text her. And if it is important that we talk, then I tell her to call me. So little things like that make a big difference, because in this highly competitive market, communication is the key, not only with your agent, but how your agent communicates with you and your spouse or your group of buyers, but also how they communicate with the other listing agent and the appraiser and the lender and the inspectors and all that, because there's 20, 30, 40 people involved when a transaction is going on. So it's very critical that your agent is easy and smooth in communication, not only with you, but everybody, to close the deal that you want. So hope that makes sense. Question number 5. This is a very common question. What happens when the appraisal comes in low, when I'm in escrow? That's a great question, and it's coming up a lot last couple of years. So what happens when an appraisal comes in low or it comes in high? If it comes in high, you can just move on. I'll give you an example. If you bought a house for $500,000 and when you start your loan process and the appraisal comes in at $505,000, which does happen, then you just move along. You don't have to pay the $505, you just pay the $500. What happens though if the appraisal comes at $480 or $490 and you bought the house at $500? Well, you have several options. Number one, you get on the table with the buyer and the seller and you renegotiate. Hey, can you take $495 or can you let me have it for $490? So that's a negotiating, and whatever you come up with, you move on. The second option is you can back out of the offer. Say, hey, I paid you $500, but the house is worth $480 or $490. I don't want it, and you can back out. The third option is just pay the difference. If you really want the house, if you have written many offers and could not get any house, and you really like this house, the location, the floor plan, the backyard, the neighborhood, and you really want it, and you know that if you start your search again, as the prices go up, you're going to end up paying $500 anyways, your option is to just move on and pay the $10,000 and just move on. So hope these tips helps. There are 15 critical questions. I'm just going to talk about 5 of them, but if you like the other questions, again, go to the description. There's a link in there. Click on it, and I'll send you the free booklet right away. Thanks again, and thanks for subscribing. Mike Patel.